So I have a way of displaying all the items in a list, but those are just hard-coded right in there, which doesn't really do me a whole lot of good. I want to be able to actually add items to each list. In order to do that, that's going to involve sending data somewhere, so I know I'm going to need a form. So I'm going to go in here onto the show page, and I'm going to add a form tag. And then I could have this go anywhere I want, but I would like it to just send the data back to the same URL. I like to reuse URLs when I can, so that's what I'm going to do right now. And doing this pound right here, that's a way of telling it to just send data back to the URL that you're currently on. So I'm going to go ahead and go along with that. I could do something like list slash list dot well, I'd have to find the index all over again, and that's kind of a pain. So I'm just going to go ahead, and this is just sort of my cheater way of doing it. It'll just send it back to the URL that we're on right now. All right, so I'll do that. I'll put in an end right there. Let me refresh this page. Oops, I forgot that form tag has a do at the end of it. And now if I look down here, I can see that that form has been created. So far so good. But I'm going to do something a little bit different here. Right now, this form has a method of post. Post is really just used for creating whole new records. But here I'm updating something. I'm updating a list. I'm not creating a new list. I'm just updating a list. There's a different HTTP method that we use for updating things. We use get for getting data, post for creating new data, and then we use patch for updating data. Either patch or put. They're very similar. Usually people just sort of go with one or the other. So I'm going to go with patch right here. This is going to, well, let's see what that does. So this actually does something a little bit goofy. The method still says post right here, but now there's this hidden input with a name of underscore method and a value of patch. That's because HTML forms can actually only send data via get or post. HTML forms can't send data via patch. And so this is sort of a sneaky way of faking it. Rails is going to see, oh, hey, there's this underscore method thing here with a value of patch, so I'm going to treat this as a patch request. That's something you really need to worry about as long as you're using this form tag because it does everything for you. Now I'm going to put in the fields that I want my user to use to submit this data. So that'll be a text field. I'll just call it item, as in an item in the list. Give it some placeholder text, which doesn't do anything. It just looks nice. Let's see how that's gone. Yeah, there we go. And now it just needs a submit button. Add new item. All right, let's see how that's looking. There we go. So if I try to submit this right now, I'm going to get no root matches patch slash list slash one. So I need to go back to my roots and I need to create a patch root for list slash list number. And I'm going to have this go to lists update. So now I'm going to go back to my controller. I'm going to create update. And to start off with, as I've been doing, I'm just going to do render JSON request.params. So in the next step, I'll worry about actually doing something with this data. For right now, I just want to show that this is working. Oops, my server restarted, so I'm going to have to go back here, create this guy again. I'll do test again. And there we go. So now this is all of the data that was submitted when I sent that form. And so I can see that my item of test is right there. My list number is also right here. So that gives me a way in the next step of being able to take this new list item and add it into the list with the index of 0 right there. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to save this commit as patching data to update a list's items.